Maneuverous is definitely
Maneuverous.
I kind of like it, though.
Yeah,
All right, Sam, thanks for joining us. Please use the raise hand function if you have a question for Sam. First question comes from CL Brown.
Hi, Sam, I'm fishing a little bit here, but I was curious if there are any subtle differences between how you deliver the ball to Michael Carter and how you do to Javonte, like how they like to receive the ball when you're handing off.
when I'm handing it off.
Yeah, or in the RPO play where you're kind of holding it there and maybe take it back or maybe give it to him.
No, there's no difference.
Okay. And I was curious too, with the slate of games that you have coming up, how difficult or what's the challenge as a player from emotionally always trying to get back to the level of high intensity when you've got, a rivalry game here and coming off of a big game at Florida State? And what's it like just always trying to get back to that level?
Yeah, man, I think we have to do it every week, no matter what the outcome was the week before. We get rid of the previous game on Sunday. We just move on to the next one. We're used to it by now. We've been doing it every single week, and then the guys that have played previous seasons, they're used to it as well. So no matter if you win or lose, you just got to get rid of the game. And I think we have a very mature team, and we took the coaching and we got better from the game with Florida State, and now we're completely on NC State. So we don't look ahead, we don't look behind, we just focus on our task at hand, and that's all we got to do.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go to Alyssa Ray.
Hey, Sam, it's a rivalry game regardless, but for both teams to come in here ranked, what does that mean for not only you guys, but also the Triangle and the fans to be able to see two ACC teams so close coming in ranked for a Saturday game?
Yeah, I don't really care about the rankings, but I guess it's kind of cool for the fans and stuff like that, but it really doesn't really make a difference to me. They're a good football team, and we got to bring our best on Saturday to have a chance to win. So definitely got to have a good week of practice to prepare because they're a good football team.
All right, JB Ricks, go ahead, JB.
Hey, what's going on, Sam? Thanks for taking out the time. Obviously, you guys had a little bit of a chink, placed into your armor with the loss against Florida State. I'm curious to know how much are you guys taking from the way you performed against NC State in last year's game to maybe get that confidence back up to what it was when you guys were undefeated and maybe, get your swag back up going into this game? How much are you guys taking from the way you performed against them in 2019?
Honestly, we haven't really talked about that much. Obviously, we had a lot of success against those guys. But yeah, I think they're a lot better football team this year than they were last year. So we definitely got to be prepared for that. It's definitely not, and we're not the same team as last year. So, it's a new year. It's both two new teams, so we can't really look at last year. We just got to go into it and give it our best shot this week, and just have a good week of preparation and go out there on Saturday and perform.
What immediately jumps off to you on film when you're looking at this team compared to the one that you guys pretty much handled last year?
Yeah, I think they play a lot harder. I don't really know what it was that changed, but it just looks like the guys are flying around the field a lot more than they were last year. That's something you really didn't see from their defense last year. So, yeah, I think they do a really good job on defense. There's a lot of things that they're doing better that they weren't doing that well last year. So it's definitely a good challenge for offense. We got to prepare for it on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Sam.
Yeah.
All right, Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Sam, to build off JB's question there, what is a little bit different beyond just the playing harder? What is different about that defense?
Yeah, there's not much difference as far as schematic-wise goes. It's the same BC, so they're doing similar stuff. But yeah, it just looked like their whole mentality on the defense side of the ball has changed, honestly. It just looks like a completely different team from last year. When you turn the film on, that's probably the first thing I noticed. There's 11 guys to the ball on every single play, and that's something you really didn't see last year from those guys. So they've done a really good job in the offseason and preparing for this season, and they've had some success on defense. They're creating turnovers. They got a good defensive front. 29 is a really good player. He's definitely a future NFL guy. 10, the safety, he plays really, really hard. He comes down and he'll hit anybody. I don't think he's the biggest guy, but he's definitely not scared to hit anybody. So there's some guys on that team that that are gonna fight. So we got our hands full on Saturday, so we got to be prepared for it.
Great. Thank you, Sam.
All right, Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Hey, Sam, Brian was just talking a few minutes ago about a meeting discussion you guys had Sunday, said it was around a half hour, and some of it was about learning how to handle success, and maybe that was part of the problem in Tallahassee. What did you take from that conversation that you guys had?
Yeah, I mean, I just think you have to learn to be able to handle success and failure. I think that's one of the best. That's one of the best ways to get better as a team. You just got to learn. I think the one thing about our team is we're mature enough to be able to sit in the film room and take hard coaching from the previous game before and just learn from it. So that's kind of some of the stuff we talked about. Just you just got to bounce back. You can't let one loss really turn into two losses by having just like being down all week, worried about or just feeling sorry for yourself about losing the previous game. We just got to get up and go, worry about the next one. So that's probably the main thing I took. You can't really let the last week's game affect this one.
Some of the guys have also said, and Mac yesterday and Jay and Phil also said that they're very pleased with the way you guys responded and you've handled post game from when the game ended to where you are now as far as recognizing some of these things. Is that a real example of growth that you guys have undergone here in the last couple of days?
Yeah, I definitely think so. It was a tough game on Saturday. We went in expecting to win, and we played not nearly as good as we should have played, and our guys have just kind of learned from it and moved on. I think that's just something that shows how mature our guys are. I think that's really I think people remember more how we respond to that loss than that loss. So that's definitely kind of our mindset going into this week. So we're definitely on the right path.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, let's go over to Casey Hintz.
Obviously over the weekend, a couple of disappointing drops, and there's been some kind of sprinkled through the early parts of the season. I remember you said in practices, like when the summer kind of started, that you really focused on making sure that you guys had no drops in practice. And I'm wondering kind of what the focus is right now during the week, and if how much you still hold your receivers accountable to make sure you guys are doing that and not having those drops in practice.
Yeah, I mean, definitely we try our best to keep balls off the ground in practice. We try to create practice as like a game atmosphere. You can't really create a game like atmosphere in practice. I just think it's kind of unrealistic. So in your mind and like mentally, you just got to prepare like it's a game. You go out there every day and treat every play like it's the last play of the game. And going back to the drops on Saturday, like the last 3 plays we had or whatever. There were some really hard catches. I could have thrown a better ball on all 3 of those passes. So, it's not all on the receivers. I can do a better job. So, yeah, we definitely just got to come out here and just aim for perfection on every single day. And I think that's the only way we can get better.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, last one, Ross Martin. Go ahead, Ross.
Hey, Sam, from the time you get the play in to when you line up, what are you kind of looking at in terms of the defense is doing and how your offense is lined up?
Yeah, I mean, once I get the plan, I just kind of go through their defense, and I just kind of like put myself in the game, put myself in the play, and just go through every single play that we might run in the game, just versus every single look that they do. Just try to see if there's any problems schematically, and just try to put myself in those shoes of the quarterback that's playing at the time with our play, and just see how I would handle what they're doing. So that's.
And then, how much liberty are you given? When you're at the line of scrimmage on who you're going to key in on and who you're going to pass to? I mean, are you just looking for who's open and where green grass is, or what's kind of the decision making once you snap it? You see where the defense is and where your wide receivers are.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on what the play is, what type of play it is. There's definitely some plays where I get to pick really before the snap of who my first look is. Some plays it's kind of built in. But yeah, I mean, just looking for matchups is really, I think, the best way to describe it to you. Just trying to go with the best matchup.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, Sam. Appreciate your time today.
Thanks, guys.